Denver Mile High Stadium. It's the San Diego Chargers versus the Denver Broncos. Brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. By Mitsubishi Motors, who invites you to come see the full line of cars and trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler.
Okay.
From the Mile High city of Denver, Colorado, and Mile High Stadium, it's the San Diego Chargers against the Denver Broncos in Week 2 of the NFL season. It's a beautiful day. It's 76 degrees. The wind out of the northwest at 5 miles an hour. And we have a 50-50 chance of rain later in the day. This is Al Saunders, the youthful coach of the San Diego Chargers, who took over in 1986. Last year, he had an 8-game winning streak. This year, he is 0-1. And, of course, for the Denver Broncos, the defending AFC champions of the last 2 years, Dan Reeves in his 8th season, and he has built himself quite an operation here. The Denver Broncos will kick off this afternoon. I'm Merle Herman along with Hall of Famer Paul Horning, and we're delighted to have you with us today. Here is the Mile High City, and Karlis is going to kick off for Denver. Back deep for the San Diego Chargers is Holland, but the ball goes out of the end zone, so it will come to the 20.
They like that nice center out here, Merle. He just kicked that football 75 yards in the air.
Let's look at the offensive lineup for San Diego. Babe Laufenberg won the quarterback job. The sensational Gary Anderson, you'll see a lot of him today, and 2 fleet receivers in Miller and Early.
Rookies.
Yes, sir, and they are good ones. And the offensive line, anchored by the veteran Don Masick at center. Anderson will be one of the running backs as Laufenberg calls the play. Anderson off the right side for about 3. Rick Dennison, 55, the left inside linebacker, makes the hit for the Denver Broncos. Now let's look at the Bronco defensive line. Greg Kagan, number 71, the nose tackle, is the anchor. The linebackers for the Broncos are led by Carl Mecklenburg and Simon Fletcher. And Fletcher has played outstanding football this year for the Broncos in preseason and in game 1.
But as usual, Mecklenburg is the key on this defense. He'll play all positions defensively.
This is Anderson, hit at the 25 by Freddie Gilbert, number 90, the defensive left end, and number 31, Mike Harden, the free safety.
Well, the Chargers coming right out and running right at the Denver defense. We take a look at the defensive backs for the Broncos. Mark Haynes, of course, everything on the outside for so many years. Jeremy Castile, Dennis Smith, and Mike Harden.
We understand we're having a slight audio problem. We are working on that and hope to have it corrected very shortly. Lionel James is down as a running back. Split wide to the right now is Anthony Miller, a real burner.
This defense, Denver's defense last week gave up 178 yards rushing. They're going upstairs.
And the blitz is on. The pass is incomplete. A flag is down. And I say incomplete. It was picked off by Dennis Smith, but a flag was thrown. And we have flags all over the place. Randy Robbins, number 48, was coming from the strong safety spot. And he forced Laufenberg to get rid of the ball.
Well, they had the nickel defense in, as you'll see so much in special football. This is going to go against Denver holding. Watch the pressure on Laufenberg as we pick it up. Laufenberg played quite well last week, actually, against a lot of pressure against that Raider defense. This time you see the pressure on the safety blitz from Randy Robbins.
5 yards, first down.
Automatic first down. Big break for San Diego. Denver would have had the football about the 30-yard line, Merle.
The 10-minute ticker, and look at this shocker. Pittsburgh is leading Washington 29-27, and we will keep you folks in San Diego and Denver updated on that ball game. Anderson, and he hits the left side to about the 33.
In talking to Coach Al Saunders the other night, you know, he had made it to us that they were going to have to run the football. Denver gave up, 178 yards last week, and so if there's an Achilles heel in that defense, it may be against the rush. Thinking back to the Super Bowl, Merle, Denver gave up over 280 yards rushing to Washington, so they have had a hard time the last 2 games against the rush, and I think you're going to see that in that Charger offense. They're going to try to run the football against them.
Quinn Early splits wide to the right side. Wide to the left is Anthony Miller. It is 2nd down 7 for San Diego. Lots of time for Laufenberg, incomplete. Intended for Anthony Miller. The coverage by Jeremiah Castile, number 28, the defensive back out of Alabama. Third down coming up.
We take a look at Mecklenburg. He's lined up on the outside. He's slipping outside. He's going to help out on Jeremiah Castile out here. With Jeremiah Castile, that's Anthony Miller. He tried to get the football there. It was incomplete. Actually, it had him double covered.
This is what Laufenberg did last week. It was his first NFL action. He's bounced around with several teams. Has now found a home in San Diego. Third down. Great catch by Lionel James, but it may be for a loss. Dennis Smith, the strong safety, right there to make the tackle, number 49.
So a great tackle by Dennis Smith on a real tough Lionel James, a little 5'6½", and he can move, and he usually defeats a tackler in that first move here on the outside. Lionel James will usually defeat the defensive back here, but Dennis Smith makes a real good stop.
Fourth down and 6. Ralph Moshenko is back to do the punting for San Diego out of Michigan State. Kevin Clark and a single safety for the Broncos back at his own 25-yard line.
Both these teams had great special teams, good punting. This guy averaged 47 yards last week.
And he hangs one high for Kevin Clark, and he fields the ball at his own 13 and is brought down at about the 21-yard line. So a short return.
I tell you, both these teams have a lot of pride in their special teams as we watched a 53-yard punt and a 9-yard return.
Now the Denver Broncos put their offensive unit on the field for the first time this afternoon. The ball will be spotted at the 21-yard line of Denver, and John Elway, the all-everything quarterback, will be running the offense. Gerald Willhite and Tony Dorsett getting the starting calls, and of course Ricky Nattiel, outstanding wide receiver, as is Mark Jackson. And now we note that Sammy Winder is going to start in place of Gerald Willhite.
Got Winder and Dorsett in the back.
And a little screen to Dorsett. Does not go. We talked about that yesterday with Coach Dan Reeves about how they were going to get Dorsett more involved in the offense.
In fact, we asked you that exact question. He goes pull a few more screens to Dorsett, and he comes right out and throws a screen here. Either that was a poor pass or Dorsett was in the wrong spot.
Lee Williams, defensive left end, a good one for the Chargers. He'll be very active today. And Chuck Fawcett is the leading tackler as one of the inside linebackers for San Diego. Elvis Patterson, a veteran defensive back. Dennis Glenn, look out for him. He's a good one. Inside reverse. Sewell. And Sewell is at the 24. Gain of about 3. They're stacked up there, and Bird, number 22, is in on the tackle, along with Pat Miller, 48.
Both these teams will use a lot of multiple sets, especially Denver. You see Steve Sewell, who's really the control type of receiver, very good catching the football, running in, doesn't make many mistakes, and he gets 3 or 4 around the left side.
Orson Mobley has come out at tight end. Clarence Kay, of course, is out of the lineup. He was injured last week, and it's not known how long he will be out. They hope maybe just 1 more week. Willhite, the running back. Elway over the middle, incomplete at the 29 as Bird puts the hit on the receiver, number 80, Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson should have had it. He's well short of the first down, but it was a good hit by Gil Bird, 6-year pro from San Jose State. We take a look at Elway as he comes off.
And so the Broncos do not get what they wanted. They wanted a good first series. They wanted to come out and establish their offense.
They've had a hard time on third down. Last week, the third down conversion was not as good as Dan Reeves expected. They've been working on it all week in practice.
Mike Horan, 41-yard average last year, 44.8 against. We got a flag thrown as Horan drives that ball all the way down about the 25-yard line.
That's Vincey Glenn, 49-yard punt. I said both these teams have great special teams. We take a look at Al Saunders over on the sideline. Beautiful punt. You see Mike Horan there, and he's a great directional punter, Merle. Not only does he kick the ball long, but he angles the football to the left and the right side.
And we go drop in the back, number 25, receiving team, while the ball is in the air.
That's Vincey Glenn. Watch 25 White over here. There it is, right from behind. And that'll go against Vincey Glenn. as Lionel James caught the punt. A beautiful punt by Mike Lorraine.
So San Diego has the ball, 1st and 10 at its own 17-yard line. We have no score in the first quarter. 10 minutes and 54 seconds to go in the first period. Merle Harmon and Paul Horning with you from Mile High Stadium in Denver. Now Cox, who was set up as the up man of the eye, comes up as the tight end on the right side for San Diego. Gary Anderson out of Arkansas, and a great tackle by Jeremiah Castile, number 28, the cornerback who came up to make the hit. Now the 10-minute ticker, and Paul, what do we have?
And we still got Pittsburgh ahead of Washington, fourth quarter, 29-27. And Buffalo and Miami, they don't seem like they can get into the end zone. They've got a field goal contest going on, 9-6. And that is the final now. San Francisco and the Giants, that's the final. San Francisco 20, the Giants 17.
2nd and 6 coming for San Diego. Babe Laufenberg is the quarterback. Coming long to this side. Incomplete to Quinn Early out of the University of Iowa.
Beautiful coverage by Mark Haynes, the old pro. Look at him. 9 years out of the University of Colorado. What wonderful coverage for a cornerback. If you want to really see how cornerback should cover, look at this. He's got him all the way. That little bump now was, this year they're giving the defender a lot more leeway in those bumps.
All he's got to do is look back.
All he's got to do is look back, and there's no pass interference. And I like that. Let him play a little bit more.
3rd down coming up. Lionel James is now going to be the tailback. Laufenberg lofts it, and it is batted in the air and almost caught by Anthony Miller. Number 83, the rookie from Tennessee, and the #1 draft choice, Dennis Smith, the strong safety, putting pressure on.
Oh, watch Dennis. Dennis Smith calls this incompletion. Watch to the right of your screen. He got blocked, but he got a piece of Babe Laufenberg and caused that errant pass. Almost intercepted down the left sideline, but it was a great pressure by Dennis Smith. Off Mosichenko.
Mosichenko ready to boot it away, and he does just that. And Kevin Clark at the 32. Denver should get good field position, but Clark is formed under near the 40-yard line, and Rod Bernstein was downfield to make the tackle for San Diego. A kick of 47 yards, and now let's check our 10-minute ticker.
Bears beat the Colts 17-13. New Orleans 8-point lead in the fourth quarter, and Tampa Bay by 3 over the Pack.
Your old team.
Yeah, did you see that?
Battle of the Bays.
Jets of Cleveland, no score first quarter. Raiders got on the board first, and New England trails Minnesota first quarter. Philadelphia's got a touchdown on the board. The rest, no score.
1st and 10 coming up at the 40-yard line. Tony Dorsett out to the 44. Met there by Joe Phillips, number 75, and Jeffrey Jackson, number 52.
You know, I asked Dorsett yesterday, Burrow, how he was going to feel. Was he looking forward to getting more involved in the offense? He said, Paul, I think that'll come. And they came right out in the first quarter, threw a screen on the first play, and I think he's going to be their answer for that tailback position. Sammy Winder, of course, a great running back, but he doesn't have the type of ability that a Dorsett gives the offense.
2nd down, 6 for Denver. No score first quarter. And inside pitch at the forward pass. Incomplete. Dorsett.
Well, he's not comfortable in that offense yet. You can see that. Dorsett here, all you have to do is delay here. He's got a little bit anxious. The ball was a little bit high on his left shoulder pad. But those are the kind of pitches you got to have. That just takes a little bit more timing between Elway and Dorsett. Dorsett is getting off a little bit slow here in Denver, of course. Everybody here is expecting him just to come in and move that offense just up to another level. And it doesn't happen that way.
The Broncos have 3 wideouts on the field. Teal, Massey, Johnson, and now Willhite is also in there. And the flag goes down on the shotgun.
Got a 3 down.
Caught at the 45-yard line of San Diego by Rick Massey. And we have flags all over the place.
Rick Massey was just signed this week. Going to be against the defense. He had a free down. Now he's got the option, I think, whether to take that completion.
Oh, yeah, they'll take it at the 45-yard line.
Offsides, number 99, defense, decline. First down.
So they're going to take that completion, of course, to Rick Massey, the second-year pro, who was just signed this week, just added to the roster. There is a little turn in here. And the great arm of Elway here. You saw him pump, stood back, and he was a little off balance, but he's got such a strong arm, Earl. He could get that ball on target 15 yards downfield.
From the San Diego 44, Elway wants it. He's got Jackson on the way. Touchdown.
Beautiful.
75,000 plus go wild in Denver as Elway connects on a 44-yarder to Mark Jackson. And what a job Jackson did, and a pretty good job by Bird, but Bird couldn't contain him. Number 22.
He had a pretty good coverage on him. It was just a good move by Mark Jackson. 44-yard TD, and the Broncos are on the board. Karlis comes in to attempt the extra.
Rich Karlis, the barefoot kicker, 7-year veteran from Cincinnati. And the Broncos are up 7-0 here in the first quarter with 8:49 to go in the first period. So on the second possession, Elway gets the job done with the big play.
Let's take another look. Jackson is flanked out to the left. Good pass protection here. Elway had all day to throw the football, and he's got him beat by about 3 yards. Gil Bird, but it was just a great catch. He had to slow up a little bit for it, Merle, but what a beautiful catch by Mark Jackson. It's his second touchdown catch of the year. Look at this beautiful move. He knows he's got him. All right. Mark Jackson, 3-year pro from Purdue University, second touchdown catch of the year. He caught 4 passes last week, 1 for a touchdown, and he's starting off hot this year.
That was a quick 60-yard drive on 4 plays. And it took 1 minute and 3 seconds for Elway and company to get into the end zone on that second possession. So now the Broncos will kick off. Jamie Holland and Anthony Miller will be back deep for Rich Karlis. Curtis Adams is also back.
I tell you, if they're not going to put any more pressure on Elway, the San Diego Charger defense is going to be in for a long day. You give him that much time to throw the football, whoop, it's going to be trouble. Look at this kick.
And Karlis puts it out of the end zone again. The ball will come to the 20 where the Chargers will have it. Both these teams lost their opening day battles. The Chargers to the Los Angeles Raiders, and of course Seattle coming in here to beat Denver. And the Broncos have not lost back-to-back games 1 and 2 at home since 1968. And you know, Paul, yesterday when we were out to the Bronco workout camp, you could just see it in their eyes. They you know, you try to talk to these guys about, hey, big game tomorrow, you know, the usual stuff, and they're deadly serious. I mean, they're saying, hey, we goofed up, we know it, don't talk to us, we'll just go out and do the job.
They also realize nobody ever went to the Super Bowl having lost their first 2 games.
Here comes the reverse, and Anthony Miller at the 30, at the 35. And Miller is dumped to the 40-yard line by Dennis Smith, number 49, the strong safety, and Laufenberg
What a
was
great
down
block.
there leading the block.
Oh, what a great block by Babe Laufenberg, the quarterback. We take a look at Anthony Miller, Merle, drafted number 1, of course, out of the University of Tennessee, on the reverse at 20-yard. Now watch number 12. I tell you, you won't see quarterbacks do this too much. Look at this block. Beautiful block by Babe Laufenberg, and then, of course, Anthony Miller with that great speed. The rookie number 1 draft choice picks up 20, and he's got it out to the 40-yard line.
So the Chargers with Laufenberg under the control to Anderson, and Anderson hits to about the 42, where Greg Cragen, 71, the nose tackle from Utah State, is on the hit for the Broncos.
I tell you, you won't see a team anywhere in the National Football League as young as the San Diego Chargers. I don't think they're babies. I mean, offensively, they got, what, 2 rookie receivers on the outside. You got Babe Laufenberg, who hadn't taken a snap in the NFL until last week. You've got all young football players, and even on the defense, they've got a lot. In fact, they've got, what, 18 free agents on their roster. That's unbelievable.
And 11 of them are starters. So the Chargers send wideouts to each side. On the draw, Anderson Denver's defense reacts, led by Karl Mecklenburg, number 77, the inside linebacker, the 6-year veteran from Minnesota.
Well,
not much on that one.
They renegotiated his contract, Merle, and I guess rightfully so. He's really a popular guy in this town, believe me, one of the great defensive football players in the National Football League. You take a look, he plays all over. 3 times a Pro Bowler, 6'3", 235 pounds. Not too big, but he's all over the place. And he had 7 sacks last year, and they rely on him defensively.
Now third down and long for San Diego.
4-man defensive rush.
Laufenberg scrambling, flags are down. Laufenberg throws it, and it is caught at the 45-yard line of San Diego, but we have flags all over the place. Quinn Early came back to make that catch. It would be way short of a first down. Rulon Jones and Simon Fletcher were putting tremendous pressure on Laufenberg.
Let's watch the pressure. See if we can pick up any holding up front. There's a 4-man rush here, and he flushes out of the pocket. I think he's got an eye on number 77 on the left side, Mecklenburg.
4th down.
There's Mecklenburg giving a nice little touch here. Watch the receivers moving for the open spot here. That's Quinn Early. He's got it, but he's way short of the first down. They declined the penalty of holding. Going to force the punt.
Moshenko for his 3rd kick of the afternoon. We have 6 minutes, 19 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Denver leading San Diego by a score of 7-0 on a 44-yard touchdown pass from John Elway to Jackson. It is 4th down for Moshenko, the 4-year veteran from Michigan State. Last week averaged almost 47 yards a kick against the Raiders. End over end on this one. Kevin Clark at the 15. And piled up. They'll mark the ball to the 19-yard line. So the Broncos first down to the 19. And let's take a look at our scores on the 10-minute ticker. Pittsburgh ahead of Washington by 2 in the 4th quarter. Buffalo a winner over Miami, and San Francisco edged the Giants.
And we pick up the Bears beat Indianapolis by 4. New Orleans over Atlanta by 8. And Tampa Bay beats the Packers by 3.
Denver's ball. Dorsett starting to look like the way he did when he ran for the Dallas Cowboys. A little juke here, a little juke there. Plays off the block.
The Jets on the board first with the field goal. The Raiders 7-0 over Houston, and Minnesota 7-3 over New England. All first quarter scores.
For Dorsett, a gain of 6.
Picked up 32 yards rushing last week on 9 carries. And it's going to take him, I would think, 4 or 5 weeks, Merle, before he really starts to feel comfortable.
Dorsett again. Trying to get to the outside. First down.
See that beautiful move? That's instinctive running, Merle. You just you have to know how to make that move when you're in a tailback position. And he's been doing it for 12 years. Watch his beautiful move. He needs 53 yards to move up to 3rd place in rushing as he just moves to the outside. So fluid, for such a fluid move for the first down.
At 34 years of age, Dorsett still going strong. He's lost a little bit, but 3 carries, 17 yards indicates that he can still get the job done.
Look here.
Sammy Winder, first down and more across the 45 to the 47.
He didn't look like he lost too much on that play. 14 yards off the left side. They got the trap blocked beautifully at the point of attack.
Jeffrey Jackson, the inside linebacker, made the hit for San Diego.
Just an inside handoff here. Good blocking there. That's all you need for it. That's Sammy Winder. Check that. I thought that was Dorsett. Dorsett's 33. Winder is 23. A 15-yard pickup.
Winder was a tailback until Dorsett arrived. Now Dorsett is the tailback. Cuts to the outside. Hits to the 45-yard line of San Diego, where Gil Bird, number 22, the right quarterback, has to bring him down. He got almost 8.
And, you know, they only had 76 yards rushing, and I know that was one of Dan Reeves' things to work on this week. Let's try to run the football as we take a look at Dorsett now with that nice well, we can call it this time a fluid move around the left side, and it got about, what, 8 yards on the pickup.
Second down for the Broncos, who lead 7-0 with almost 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Walter Payton, 16,000. Can anybody catch him? Dorsett is about to catch Franco Harris.
And he'll probably move by Jim Brown about mid-season. And he will be the number 2 rusher of all time this year. He stays healthy.
One more time to the 42. Les Miller, 69, the defensive right end on the hit for the Chargers. And we have an official's timeout, probably to look for the spot of the ball and whether the Broncos have a first down, and they do.
The Chargers will use different sets defensively than any other team in the National Football League. And talking to Al Saunders last week, we would take a look at Coach Reeves over on the sideline. That's his short list, Merle, that he's got in his left hand. He is calling the plays into Elway. Now, Elway can call his own plays if he wants to. He has that leeway.
First down on the 42 of San Diego. Broncos leading 7-0 in the first quarter. Elway to the near side to Dorsett, and he is out of bounds, and he may have a first down. Almost 10 yards. Maybe he did get 10 yards. Martin Bayless, 44. The strong safety had the coverage.
Now they're putting him in the offense. They're getting him used to it now. I'll tell you this, beautiful catch here and a beautiful pitch by Elway. Leads him over the outside shoulder, and Dorsett just got too much speed for that linebacker there.
It's another first down for the Broncos, who are now driving the ball, running on the ground with Dorsett and Winder, but mainly Dorsett.
You know, I asked Tony Thursday in practice. He looked like he was a little winded. I said, have you gotten used to the altitude up here? And he said, honestly, I haven't. It's unbelievable how tired you get, and you don't have to run that far. So he really isn't used to the surroundings yet.
New set of running backs, Willhite and Sewell. Sewell in motion, and the pitch is to Natil, the wideout, but he doesn't get a whole lot. Ray Bennett, the left cornerback, had the coverage on the play. They're going to mark the ball inside the 30 at the 27 of San Diego.
Of course, Elway has the luxury of the 3 amigos. Ricky Natil, the second-year player out of the University of Florida, of course, number 1 draft choice, 1987. And he can fly. Vance Johnson and Mark Jackson, of course, complement Ricky as the 3 amigos. And these 3 guys look a lot alike, they run a lot alike, and they can catch the football on great deep threats.
Dorsett is back, Winder is back, and the handoff and a fumble. Elway will cover it. Drops on the ball to the 34-yard line. Keith Browner, number 57, I believe, was the man who had the hit.
A lot of times running backs will fumble the football when they get a little bit tired. And he looks like here he's been used in this drive 5 or 6 times. It's a little delayed draw here, and he just coughs up the football. It was knocked out of his arm there. I didn't get to see who caused that fumble, but Tony's got to hold on to it. He's had a history of that, laying that football on the ground.
2 minutes, 10 seconds left to play in the first quarter. They lost yardage, about 2. It's third down coming.
You notice they're giving him a little breather. They got him out of there.
Elway in the shotgun. Incomplete, intended for Natil, and he was covered by Elvis Patterson, number 34, the veteran from the University of Kansas.
I tell you, he was covered. I don't think there's 3 quarterbacks in the league can put the football here any better than this. The guy's covered. He slips a little bit. Right here, incomplete. We'll be right back.
And we would like to welcome those viewers who have just joined us from the Washington-Pittsburgh game. I'm Merle Herman along with Paul Horning. We're in Denver, Colorado at Mile High Stadium. The Broncos scored early in the first quarter, and we're in that quarter right now on a 44-yard Elway touchdown pass. And right now, Rich Karlis is going to try to kick one from 51 yards out to give the Broncos a 10-run lead. The barefooter has plenty of distance, and he also has a 51-yard field goal.
And that's ties his longest field goal. 51 yards. He did it twice in 1986 and 1987.
And we have a timeout in Denver. 1 minute, 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Denver leads 10-0.
This buzz for all that you do.
Papers say you busted it up pretty good. This is where we start.
You got a long road back. You missed the cheers. Can you beat those doubts and fears?
For that something that won't let us quit, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood Aged Budweiser.
till your first game back.
This buzz for you.
For those little trips that turn into wild adventures, suddenly there's the new four-door Mitsubishi Montero. V6 power and four-wheel drive help you avoid snarling beasts. Montero offers surprising comfort under the most savage conditions, and it even has more room than Jeep Cherokee. The new four-door V6 Montero, because sometimes it's a jungle out there.
Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
Introducing the perfect tire for everyone. It does everything for every driver.
Is it safe in the rain?
Well, it's, you know. Can it handle at high speeds? You mean fast?
Carry heavy loads?
How heavy?
Can I afford it?
There's no one perfect tire for everyone. So Goodyear makes different tires for every driver, car, and condition on the American road, including the perfect tire for you.
This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. And the Broncos are leading by a score of 10-0 as Karlis gets ready to kick off.
A bird's eye view of this kickoff.
Going back deep, Curtis Adams, number 42, along with Jamie Holland, 86, Anthony Miller, 83. Karlis boots it from his own 35. He has kicked 2 out of the end zone. San Diego making a run back on this one with Jamie Holland and Will. Holland trying to get to the outside is chopped down at about the 16, possibly the 17-yard line.
Good special team tackle by Kevin Guidry over there, a defensive back out of LSU, a rookie.
Babe Laufenberg checking in with Jerry Rome, the offensive coordinator of the Chargers, as he comes on the field. As you can see, signed as a free agent prior to the '88 training camp. He bounced around a bit, but he'd never played it down in the NFL. But he is playing plenty for San Diego now. We've got a timeout, and we'll be back in a moment.
Suddenly, there's a new way of looking at sports sedans. The Mitsubishi Galant. Its design is dynamic and spirited. Unlike Camry or Accord, Galant GS offers the most advanced electronic suspension, available anti-lock braking, and was voted Japan's Car of the Year. But Galant's most significant development isn't just the technology that's gone into it, but the feeling you get out of it. The 1989 Galant.
Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
AT&T has just made Watts a whole new ballgame for any size business. Pick from a lineup of plans that give you call detail, distance-sensitive pricing, and major league discounts, even on international and AT&T card calls. If you thought AT&T Watts had just one pitch, now it's a whole new ballgame.
If it's happening, I'm there, okay? Foreign films, answering machine for my car phone, okay? Hey, it's goat cheese or no cheese. My beer, so hip, with a twist.
When you're done kidding around, Heineken.
The battlefield has changed, but the battle cry is the same. Stallone.
Merle, you may be looking at one of the next head coaches in the National Football League. That's Jerry Rome. He's the offensive coordinator for the Chargers. And I tell you, he's well respected around this league. And I really think he's going to get his shot in the next couple of years.
He's been mentioned for a lot of head jobs, and they just can't keep ignoring what this man has done. So I agree with you. I think it won't be long until he'll be a head man. 1st and 10, San Diego on the 16-yard line. Babe Laufenberg is the quarterback for the Chargers. Play action, screen, tip, almost intercepted. Mecklenburg had his hands on the ball and almost pulled it back in.
And I tell you, he saved a big play for San Diego with beautiful faking. And that's something you don't see in the National Football League, Merle. Quarterbacks do not fake well, usually in the pro league. But this kid made a beautiful fake here, and he's got a screen set up on the right side. If Mecklenburg does not get his big left paw up there, that's a big play for San Diego. Great defensive play by Mecklenburg, and he almost gets the interception.
So it's 2nd down for San Diego. I understand a moment ago when I gave the score, I said Denver was leading by 10 runs. You can tell I just came from a baseball stadium, can't you? The handoff goes to Tim Spencer, the big back. At the 20, Freddie Gilbert, 90, the defensive left end, makes the hit, the 3-year veteran from Georgia. Now we're going to show you the earlier touchdown by Denver.
Some of you must look at the great pass protection. Down the left sideline, Gilbert on the defense, and Mark Jackson makes a great catch at the 2, goes on into the end zone, a 44-yard touchdown pass. There he is, Mark Jackson, his second touchdown catch of the year.
And that was followed by Karlis' 51-yard field goal, the 3rd of his career, by the way, from that distance. And so consequently, Denver leads by a score of 10-0, and San Diego is 3rd and long. Not quite 7. Incomplete by Laufenberg. Eric Sievers, 85, the tight end, covered by Jim Ryan, number 50, the outside linebacker, the dean of the defense, they call him. And it is 4th down for the Chargers of San Diego, and Ralph Moshenko will come in for his 4th punt.
Well, that was just a poor pass by Laufenberg. Had his man open. Rulon Jones put the pressure on for Denver. He'll go in on passing situations. Rulon Jones, a 9-year veteran.
Moshenko drives it downfield. Kevin Clark at the 42. Midfield. At the 49 of San Diego. He is tackled by Eric Sievers, a 38-yard punt. And with 35 seconds left to go in the first quarter, the Denver Broncos lead San Diego 10-0.
Imagine waking up to find everything just as good as it...
Opposing coaches who come in here to play Denver, I don't think agree with that. How about you, Paul Horning?
Well, I don't agree with it at all. You look at Dan Reeves' record here at home. He's 36-7, 83%. With that home field advantage. I tell you, that home cooking's good for everybody.
Al Saunders took over San Diego's head coaching job in 1986, and he has an 11-13 mark. Last year he lost his first game, won the next 8, and then lost the next 6.
But I tell you one thing, this guy is going to be a coach in this league a long time. The players respect him. He's got a great personality, and I just kind of admire him the very little time I've seen him.
Inside handoff to Sammy Winder is going to lose about 3.
Lee Williams on the stop. And Lee Williams, when we take a look, is really, as Coach Saunders told us last night, he's really our only first-line football player that we have. Chip Banks hadn't signed. Here's we take the inside handoff with Winder, and you'll see Lee Williams play off the block and make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Lee Williams, 31.5 sacks the last 3 years. He's really one of the great pass rushers in this league.
He's out of Bethune-Cookman in Florida, a school that has produced several NFL stars. We have come to the end of the first quarter here at Mile High Stadium. The Broncos over San Diego by 10, and we'll be right back. Merle Harmon and Pro Football Hall of Famer Paul Horning with you from Denver, Colorado. We've played 1 quarter, and there's a look at the game statistically. Elway, of course, up in the air for 70 yards and a touchdown. Laufenberg having his problems in the first quarter. Dorsett is back. Willhite is back.
Shotgun.
Check that. Sewell is now in. Dorsett is not in. Elway throws on the run. It is Jackson. Jackson down the sideline at the 18-yard line, brought down by Elvis Patterson. Number 34, the cornerback of the big gainer, gives the Broncos a first down to the San Diego 18.
Well, Elway's going to hurt you when he's in the pocket, but I've always felt when you got a quarterback like this with this much ability, once he gets outside that pocket, he becomes even more dangerous. And Elway is that. Look at this wonderful pitch down the right side, 34-yard pickup. Mark Jackson's having a pretty good first half here.
Elway is now over the 100-yard mark in passing. We're just seconds into the second quarter. Dorsett and Winder are now the running backs, and John Elway wants a timeout. So something went wrong there. At least Elway wanted to make sure that there was no misunderstanding. With the timeout, it's 10-0 Denver.
Look up, America. From Today's game is brought to you by Dodge Cars and Trucks. When it's got to be right, it's got to be a Dodge. By Coors Light, there's no slowing down with a silver bullet. It's the right beer now. And by the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start.
The Denver Broncos and Dan Reeves, a 10-0 lead over the San Diego Chargers, and the Broncos are marching like they're going to get more. Tony Dorsett and Sammy Winder are the running backs. Dorsett is now the tailback. Winder blocks on the corner. Dorsett makes his cut inside the block near the 10. Elvis Patterson makes the stop.
Good move by our Tony Dorsett. As we quickly update, Pittsburgh, now it's a final. Washington by 1 over Pittsburgh. Buffalo over Miami, a final 9-6. Another final, San Francisco by 3. Chicago a winner over the Colts. New Orleans an 8-point winner today over Atlanta, and Tampa Bay by the pack by 3. Tied up second quarter 3-3. The Raiders are also tied up against Houston, and Minnesota a touchdown over New England.
On 2nd and 2, Dorsett first down and is down to the 5-yard line. Dorsett is having a very good first half in this game. Vincey Glenn, the free safety, had to make the hit. It'll be 1st and goal on the 5 for Denver.
As we take a look at Dorsett, inside handoff, he's got the option to slip outside. This time he cuts back inside. Vincey Glenn on the stop by the Chargers. Dorsett now 34 yards and 8 carries. We take a look at the ticker. Philadelphia touchdown over Cincinnati. Kansas City and Seattle tied up, and the Rams a 4-point lead over the Lions. All second quarter score.
1st and goal for the Broncos on the San Diego 5. Draw to Dorsett at the goal line, and he is stopped a little bit short, apparently. Fawcett, Chuck Fawcett, the inside linebacker out of the University of Maryland, stopped Dorsett just short of the goal line. Got help from Vincey Glenn, number 25, a 3-year man from Indiana State. 2nd and goal for the Broncos.
Pat Kelly checks in, big tight end. 6'6", 252 pounds. Also Gerald Willhite checks in, and Dorsett gets a breather.
And the crowd's booing. They want Dorsett to stay in the game.
Short yardage, this is the way they go. Winder will be your deep back, and Gerald Willhite the up back, and they split out now.
2nd and goal. Willhite over the top.
Touchdown.
And he's in. So the Broncos go up 16-0. Steve Sewell was the lead blocker. He had set on the wing right. You saw him in motion. And he made his cut, and Willhite went right over the top. You'll see it.
Boy, he does so many things. Steve Sewell, 4-year player out of University of Oklahoma. Very valuable man in this Bronco offense. We're going to take another.
Catches the ball well. He blocks well. He goes on the wing. He runs the football. He catches it. As we take a look at Willhite scoring his first touchdown of the year.
Gary Kubiak, the number 2 quarterback out of Texas A&M, will hold for Karlis for the extra point try at the south end of Mile High Stadium. And Karlis is automatic. So the Broncos are in front by 17 with 12 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the first half in Denver.
Dodge Shadow ES.
I'm Merle Harmon along with Pro Football Hall of Famer Paul Hornung. Paul, there's no doubt about it. The Broncos have got their act back together today.
Well, they didn't look too good last week, but this week it's just what the doctor ordered. Elway is thrown for 1 touchdown, and after that beautiful 1-yard run by Willhite hitting in there, it looks as if Denver has everything under control so far.
So the Broncos, and this latest scoring drive, take 49 yards on 6 plays to get the job done. Willhite going over for the touchdown as Karlis booms it downfield. It'll be taken by Curtis Adams, and Adams breaks the tackle. He is out across the 30. A great job. Anthony Miller, I'm sorry, folks, Anthony Miller came up with the ball. 83 in place of 43.
Very dangerous out of the University of Tennessee. Had 1 kick called back in the preseason. Anthony, look at that wonderful move on the inside, and Anthony Miller is going to be a dangerous return man in this league. Take a look at Al Saunders over on the outside. He can't get his jobber down. This is a very young football team, and they don't have to worry about hitting you. They will hit you, and as the game goes on, you're going to see a lot of hard tackling on this San Diego Charger team. They play all out and quite reckless, in fact, even though they're trailing 17-0. They just don't have the folks. As we take a look at Michael Brooks. who was shaken up on the play, and he's walking off under his own power.
Miller's return was 31 yards, and so the San Diego Chargers down by 17 with 11:57 to go in the first half here in Denver. The Broncos, as we mentioned earlier, have not lost back-to-back games in 1 and 2, meaning at the beginning of the season since 1968. They were very much aware of that yesterday at the workout. Good play-action fake by Laufenberg. He's going for it all. He's got Miller.
Intercepted.
Castillo picks it up, takes it away. And he is out of bounds at about the 32.
And for a young quarterback, this is the way you learn. It's a tough lesson to learn, but he had Anthony Miller was wide open on a post pattern for 6 points, and it was just a tremendous move by Jeremiah Castillo, the 6-year pro out of Alabama. Look, he's got him beat by 2, and this long pass just a little bit underthrown. What a great interception by Mr. Castillo. 12th career interception, and Denver has the football back in fine field position at the 33-yard line.
And now the San Diego defense is going to get another workout. Al Saunders very, very proud of the effort given by his team.
Absolutely. And he realizes, he told us, this kid's young, Laufenberg, he's got a lot of pride in his own ability, and he thinks he can get the job done. That pass, almost 6 points.
Screen to Dorsett. Flags are down all over the place.
I tell you, if you don't think this game is a game of inches, you know, Merle, that ball had been thrown maybe a yard and a half further, it could have been 6 points.
Holding call against Denver. You know, we talked about a moment ago about Al Saunders, and he is pleased with the effort that his team is giving. You know,
Holdable foul against the offense. Holding. Decline.
I think he said 64. Billy Bryan, the center. What we're going to say about Al Saunders, he knows that he is undermanned. He's got all these young people, 18, but he says as long as we keep giving an all-out effort, we're going to improve. We're going to get better. It'll be first down and 20 on the holding call. The ball going back to the 23-yard line. The shotgun for Elway.
We might be seeing Mark Malone a little bit later on for San Diego.
Sewell on the handoff at the 24. Joe Phillips, the nose tackle, makes the hit. Malone has not played yet for San Diego. Did not get in the game last week.
And we really haven't talked about it too much, but Billy Ray Smith, 1987 most valuable player, one of the best linebackers in the league, is not suited up today. And you don't think that hurts your defense?
It is second down. Almost 18. Elway runs out of the trap. Wide open. Natil gets a block. Down at the 35. Jackson turns blocker, number 80. Mark Jackson, the other wideout. But we have an injury across the way, and Willhite's a little slow getting up, but he is okay.
Look at Elway, just a little reverse pivot there. He gets loose. Ricky Natil was wide open over the middle, and he got him right on the numbers. He comes back against the grain here. Almost gets loose from Elvis Patterson, number 34, who makes the stop. And look who's warming up on the sidelines. That's Mark Malone over there. They got him, of course, in a trade from Pittsburgh. And I know he's happy to be there.
After an 11-yard pickup, it is still third down 7 for Denver. Elway right over the middle to the tight end, Orson Mobley. Incomplete. Gary Plummer, number 50, the inside linebacker, covering the big tight end, and it is fourth down for the Broncos.
Yeah, you heard him hitting him on the numbers. He hit him right on the leg, on the knee. Mobley was not ready for it.
Mike Horan, a 5-year veteran from Long Beach State, handles the kicking for Denver. 44.8 last week, 41 yards a year ago for the season. Lionel James will be back deep for San Diego. James from his own 21.
Oh, I heard that, and I felt that.
He gets 10 to the 31. A 43-yard kick, and the Chargers will have the ball at their own 31-yard line. Denver on top by 17. 10:08 to go in the half. Mark Malone makes his debut as a San Diego Charger in a regular NFL season game. Malone came from Pittsburgh. 8 years.
It's a big kid, 6'4", 220. And I tell you, if this stint doesn't work out, he can get a job doubling for Tom Selleck.
Can't he, though? First down on the San Diego 31. About 2 by Anderson, maybe 3 at the most. Freddie Gilbert, number 90, the defensive left end from the University of Georgia, out there to make the tackle.
There's Malone's 87 stats, 6 touchdowns, 19 intercepts.
Gain of 2, second down, 8.
That's why he's here in San Diego.
He comes from the San Diego area, playing his college ball at Arizona State. You know, Pittsburgh, he really had to go through it with the fans in Pittsburgh.
Look at the difference in passing yardage here, and that's the difference in this ball game right now. 110 yards passing for Denver. Over.
On the slant end, it is complete to Quinn Early, number 87, the wideout. Mark Haynes, number 36, had the coverage, and he got almost enough for a first down. A little bit short, got about 7.
Good coverage, good pitch, and good catch here. Just a little man-to-man on the outside. Watch the quick post pattern. He plants off that right foot. He's open, and Malone delivers the football right on target.
Third down 1 coming up for the Chargers, who trail by 17. Merle Harmon and Hall of Famer Paul Hornung with you in Denver at Mile High Stadium.
No, he didn't get it.
By Karl Mecklenburg, who met him in the hole and really popped him.
Oh, he loves it too. Look at that smile on his face. Karl Mecklenburg loved this game. He loves this game of defense. And you must play defensive football with emotion. And watch this emotion by Karl Mecklenburg. Defense is a game of emotion. On offense, you have to have it a lot more controlled emotion to play it. But defense, you just got to have a reckless abandon for the game, and that's what Mecklenburg has.
And Mecklenburg stopped San Diego short of a first down. It is 4th down. And coming on to punt is Moshenko for San Diego. Left puts the ball down the field to Kevin Clark. And he returns it for about 2. Downfield, Jamie Holland on the coverage and stopped him. They'll move the ball back, however, to about the 20-yard line. Ooh, look out. There goes a flag. Clark threw the ball back, and side judge Larry Nimmers was right behind him and got the ball in the face.
And I think that was an inadvertent slip here by Mr. Clark. He didn't really want to throw it right in his face. But, of course, I think it's a good call. You can't let that happen. You got to be in control of the situation. They don't want to let this game get out of hand. You can see he didn't mean it. He was a little bit hot of the rough treatment that San Diego special teams had given him on that punt return. As we got Mr. Miller down.
Pat Miller being attended to at the 45-yard line. The crowd reacts. Clark gets an unsportsmanlike conduct call. We're getting a little bit of a breakup on our mic from referee Dick Jorgensen, so we'll try to fill you in as best we can here on some of the calls with all this noise.
Well, now let's watch. Watch where his forward progress stops. Now right here he stopped. Now the whistle's blown. There's a little piling on. Now everybody should ease up right now, but Clark doesn't like it. Gives him a nice little elbow in the stomach there. Uh-oh, wait a minute. It didn't. Good call. Good call. I don't know if that was inadvertent or not. It looked like he was throwing it right for its nose.
At the Denver 12, Elway goes to work. Dorsett goes to work. And so does number 22, Gil Bird, who stretches him out across the field and runs him out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. So Dorsett got about 5.
Boy, nothing would suit Dorsett any better, Merle, than have a 100-yard day here rushing. It's been a while.
You notice that sun shield that he's wearing? Some of the players are using that now. Dorsett says he didn't want anybody to be looking in his eyes to know which way he's going to go. Paul, this game is getting sophisticated.
It sure is. I tell you, they got more gimmicks now and equipment and the whole game.
Elway, Natil, incomplete. Flag down. We'll see what the penalty flag is all about.
Flag down. The penalty was... Let's take a look at the 10-minute ticker. The Jets over Cleveland by 3. The Raiders having another good day, 21-7 over Houston. And New England trails Minnesota now by 2 touchdowns. Cincinnati behind Philadelphia by a touch. Kansas City same against Seattle. All these second quarter scores. And Detroit leads the Rams 10-7. That's a surprise.
Cleveland is having trouble getting that offense going, and now it's even been curtailed.
Chop block, number 64 and 72. Offense, half the distance, still second down.
The Broncos are penalized. What I was going to say, with Bernie Kosar out now, they're really having problems getting the offense going.
Well, Gary Danielson said he's going to step in there, and he thinks he can do the job, but evidently today he's been pretty tough moving that football.
So a half the distance penalty takes the ball back inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Dorsett and Winder had 14 yards to make up here to get Denver a first down. Dorsett has come wide to the right. The inside handoff to Winder. The play is read by Les Miller. We have a flag thrown as Miller dumps Winder at about the 1-yard line.
Complete malfunction in the blocking assignments up front. Les Miller, 6'8". Listen to this, 293 pounds. I tell you almost have to cross block and trap block these big guys now. Because if you try to block them straight ahead, you just can't move them. There you see big number 69, third-year pro at 40. Hayes State in Kansas. They got the Broncos back inside the 5.
We have 8 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in the first half.
False start before the snap, left tackle, still second down.
He not only had a false start, he missed the block too. So, and that's Jim Juriga, who's playing in place of Dave Studdard, who usually plays the left tackle position for the Broncos, of course, and he's had a knee injury in the offseason last year, and he has not played yet.
Second down, 18. Willhite and Sewell are the running back. The shotgun. Elway zips it to Natil. He is out of bounds inside the 20, short of a first down. Roy Bennett, 23, had the coverage on the play.
Now watch Elway here. He goes back and he keys the coverage out there. Roy Bennett, a rookie from Jackson State, got his man out there all by himself, and he just makes a little turnout move, Ricky Natil, and he's wide open. Boy, I tell you, when he lets it go all the time in the world, he stands right in the pocket. And when you see a quarterback throw on rhythm, when they drop back in the pocket and they look and they just let it go right away, you know the receiver is wide open.
Pat Miller has gone for x-rays, and so has Mark Jackson. And again, the San Diego defense swarms Elway. And Mike Charles, number 71, Joe Phillips, 75, applying the pressure.
Got 2 nose tackles in there. Got the big ones in there. Mike Charles, 6'4", 296, and Phillips, 6'5", 275. And that's what I was saying. You try to block these guys straight ahead, Merle, you need some help.
It'll be fourth down and 4 as Mike Horan comes in to do the kicking. Lionel James will be back deep for the Chargers.
Well, that was the worst offensive series so far today for the Broncos. They didn't get anything accomplished in that drive.
And you got to give that swarming defense of San Diego, the defense of the Broncos, all week said, what is it? What are they doing? As that ball is kicked out of bounds.
Wasn't the best one there. He kind of shanked it off the left side.
It's going to be marked somewhere up near midfield, 45-yard line, 47, 48, 49, right on the midfield stripe now is where they mark it. And we've got a timeout. Denver leads by 17. Away pass to Jackson for 44 yards and a Denver touchdown in the first quarter. Karlis a 51-yard field goal. Here in the second quarter, Gerald Willhite from the 1-foot line, 17-0 Denver. Play action with Malone for San Diego. To the near side, incomplete. Arthur Cox, the tight end, was the intended receiver. Andre Townsend, 61. Greg Cragen, 71. The 2 big Well, the right end and nose tackle of Denver on the defensive unit applying the pressure. You know, we weren't being facetious a moment ago when we said the Broncos were saying all week, what are those guys doing on defense?
That's right.
And that's what San Diego wants people to think. What are we doing on defense?
Well, they overshift their linemen so much. They overshift to the weak side and to the strong side. And the strong side means wherever the tight end lines up. So it's tough. Look at this step. 128 yards passing for the Broncos. Chargers only 12.
Malone shotgun. Inside handoff to Lionel James. And James has a first down and more. And he stumbles and goes down after he had broken a last tackle. Mike Harden and Dennis Smith had shots at him. And the little guy gets all the way down to the 27-yard line.
Beautiful move by Lionel James here. This is only the third first down for San Diego. He's going to pick up 23 yards here. Out of the shotgun, a little draw and trap blocking up front. And Lionel James does the rest. This little guy had over 4,000 all-purpose yards the last 3 years. Look at it, 4 years. Lionel James has got San Diego in great field position.
Mark Malone, quarterbacking San Diego for the first time, hits number 82. And that would be Rod Bernstein, and that is his first catch for San Diego.
I would say this is a great pitch here. Mark Malone out of the pocket. He was covered by 3 or 4 orange jerseys. We take a look at Babe Laufenberg now giving the signals in for Mark Malone. Good teamwork here, of course. And that brings up a point. A lot of quarterbacks, when they take away their job, they want to get traded now. It's very unusual. We'll get into that a little bit later, too.
Malone got 20 on the play. First and goal, San Diego. This is Anderson. No game. Mark Haynes, 36, got him on the corner.
His responsibility is to force everything inside from that corner position, and he does it as well as anyone in this league. Mark Haynes. Here comes a signal in from Laufenberg on the sidelines.
You know, we're talking about Rod Bernstein a moment ago. That was the first time that he had caught a pass this year for San Diego. He had not been in any action at all as far as touching the football last week against Los Angeles, either running or.
There he is lined up on the wing there. He's going in motion. He's the H-back.
Malone with time.
Flag down.
Inside the 5, but the marker is down at the 3. Rulon Jones, 75. Simon Fletcher, 43. Flushed him out. Chased him out of bounds. We'll see if the play stands.
Well, one thing about this Bronco defense, when they're in trouble and they want to get some pressure on the passer, they're going to bring in Rulon Jones.
Thrown for offensive pass interference. However, the ball was not thrown. Therefore, we're going to pick it up. No foul, third down.
All right, the call offensive pass interference, but the ball had not been thrown yet.
And, of course, he was scrambling around the right side, and he picked up some valuable yardage inside the 5. Ball's going to be placed right at the 3-yard line.
So Mark Malone.
There's 82 right there. Now he's trying to block. He sees Malone's trying to run. Nothing wrong with that.
So since Malone carried the ball, the interference call did not go. We have an injury report for you in a moment. Tim Spencer, the biggest back for San Diego, now on the field at 223 pounds, and San Diego wants a timeout. Mark Malone wants 7 points.
Sure does. And Mark Jackson wants to get back in this football game, but he's got a fractured collarbone, so he's going to be out for quite a while. And that's a terrific blow to the Broncos. We take a look, updating Cleveland behind by 3 with the Jets, and that is a big, big surprise. The Raiders 2 touchdowns over Houston, and New England trails Minnesota by 2 touchdowns, all second quarter scores.
And the Philadelphia-Cincinnati game is locked up in the second quarter, and Seattle now ahead of Kansas City and Detroit over the Rams, and it looks like the Houston Oilers are really going to miss Warren Moon.
They sure are. And I tell you, this Denver Bronco team is going to miss Mark Jackson now. We don't know how serious that collarbone is. Of course, if we get a report it is broken, so that means at least 4 to 6 weeks if he's lucky.
This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, the Denver Broncos, and the San Diego Chargers, all rights reserved.
And San Diego's got to get 7 points out of here and get back in his football game, Merle.
3rd and goal. Something went wrong with the pattern. Eric Severs, the tight end, broke to the outside, and the ball was thrown to the inside. But Severs was really covered.
He sure was. And they're going to have to settle for 3 points. I tell you, that, Mr. Saunders is not happy with that. You get that football inside the 5-yard line and got a couple plays. You're behind by more than 2 touchdowns. All you're thinking is 6 points. You've got to put it in here. But they're going to settle for 3.
Vance Abbott for a 20-yarder. And San Diego posts 3. So with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half, the Chargers score for the first time today on that field goal by Vance Abbott, the second-year man from Fullerton. Moshinko doing the holding for him. And so the spirits of the San Diego Chargers, at least, should be lifted a little bit because they played well in the last couple of series, Paul.
But see, you can look back on this when the game's over with as here's like coaches think. Well, we had the football down there in the first half. We had a chance to put 7 points on the board. When you don't take advantage of that, they're still 2 touchdowns behind now. And that, of course, gives that Bronco offense a little cushion. There's Mark Malone on the sidelines. We take another look at Dan Reeves. Looks mighty dapper over there on the sidelines, doesn't he?
Oh, he always does.
I tell you, I like that.
So the Broncos, who are reversing their play of a week ago when they just didn't seem to do anything right. We talk about the winningest teams. The Denver Broncos certainly are one of the winningest teams of the 80s. The Bears, of course, have had tremendous success under Mike Ditka in a Super Bowl victory, and of course we know about the 49ers and all the postseason trips they take, as well as the Broncos, who have gone to the last 2, and the Redskins, who seem to be a perennial now when it comes to Super Bowls. And Vance Abbott will do the kicking off and drives that ball to Ken Bell at the goal line. Bell hurdling, getting an extra 10, 12, 13 on 2nd and 3rd effort. Ken Bell, the 3rd-year man from Boston College, has averaged almost 19 yards on the returns this year.
Beautiful run here by Ken Bell. I tell you, he was hit inside just about the 20-yard line. The rest he does on his own. He gets it out to the 34-yard line and gives that Bronco offense beautiful field position.
So the ball is spotted on the 33-yard line. And Elway and company take over. Dorsett splits to the right. Linebacker comes out to cover him. The other way to Natil. Look at that move by Natil. Natil picks up a big gainer, and Chuck Fawcett, the linebacker, had to pull him down. A good job by Fawcett. But a big first down pass, and the ball at the 38-yard line on a 28-yard pickup.
Oh, what a move by Ricky Natil. Not only one move, watch these moves. He gets Gilbert out here, 1-2. Then he comes back to the safety man on the inside. That's Elvis Patterson. He drops him, and then down the sidelines with that great speed. He did it all on his own, and, well, what a dangerous receiver. He could take a little hook pattern and turn it into a big play, Merle.
Dorsett, the tailback. 1st and 10 on the 38-yard line of San Diego. Dorsett, after a yard or so, stopped by Chuck Fawcett. Stops Dorsett with help from Gilbert, number 22. Tony Dorsett, 32 yards last week. Completely different ball player this week. Even last week, you know, they had a special offense set up for him. But the key to it was Clarence Kay, the tight end. They lined him up as the H-back in the backfield. First couple of series, it looked like the Dorsett was going to emerge, the Dorsett of old. Then Kay goes out to change everything.
Kay went down with an injury in the first quarter. He is not suited up today, and that's a big part of this Bronco offense. Clarence Kay, the big blocking tight end.
2nd and 8. Dorsett goes barreling through across the 30, almost to the 27, and Joe Phillips has to stop him. And Tony D is having a day.
He's getting very close to moving into 3rd place ahead of Franco Harris. And those rushing yards, he needs 53 yards. And he bursts off the right side there. Good blocking up front by Ken Lanier and Keith Karlis on the right side.
12 carries, 53 yards. He is now number 3.
And Jim Brown is staring him in the face.
First down to the 27-yard line. Dorsett and Winder are the backs. Dorsett again. 22-yard line. My goodness, Paul Martin. You know what looks like a different Denver team.
You know what it is? It's the offensive line up front. Believe me, Merle, they're moving that San Diego Charger defense 2 and 3 yards back. Every one of them, Jim Juriga, Keith Bishop, Billy Bryan, the center. On the right side, it's Keith Karlis and Ken Lanier. What a job. And this is for Tony Dorsett.
Second down, 4. Denver leading by a score of 17-3. Dorsett again. Touchdown gone.
What blocking. I got to tell you again, Merle, what wonderful blocking off the right side. They love it. 81 yards for Dorsett today. That's his 86th touchdown. And he does it from 21 yards out. Watch this. Watch the blocking. Little stutter step to the left side. A little counter, and nobody's going to touch him. My heavens, they wiped out everybody on the right side. Bishop pulling. Got a block. Ken Lanier on the right side.
And Karlis adds the extra point. 2 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the first half. And the Broncos, behind the running of Dorsett, go in for the touchdown. And now lead at 24-3. One more time.
I tell you, also, I just picked this up on that wide angle shot. Sammy Winder just grazes one guy on the outside. Watch him on the inside. Then he gets in front of somebody else. Just everybody. Beautiful blocking on the right side.
So the Broncos answer the challenge of the drive of the San Diego Chargers, which netted the Chargers a field goal. The Broncos come roaring back with the touchdown.
You know, and a lot of players, when a guy like Tony Dorsett comes into your team, you got to take your hat off to Sammy Winder. You know, he says, look, I know they're going to pay this guy a lot of money. I'll go up front and block for him. That's all right with me. I'll do my job. If that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. There's not too many football players with that big a heart, because most running backs like to run the football. And this kid is doing what he has to do.
Sammy Winder, watching him yesterday, he's something else. He was running plays in his street clothes. They were just kind of walking through plays yesterday. He always has the big cowboy hat on. And Karlis kicks this one out of the end zone.
And once again, I'll tell you, it's so important today to have a kicker, Merle, who can boot that football into the end zone. There's not a lot of kickers can put it into the end zone from the 35-yard line. And that's a tremendous edge, because that defense is working against the offense right at that 20-yard line. And normally that is a big disadvantage for your offense.
2 minutes and 35 seconds on the last drive for 67 yards on 6 plays. And the big one, of course, Dorsett's first touchdown as a Denver Bronco in the 86th of his career. And here come the Chargers. At halftime, Lynn Berman, Paul McGuire, and NFL Live with scores and highlights of all the games throughout the NFL today. Malone swings one incomplete, intended for Curtis Adams, coming out of the backfield, number 42. It'll be 2nd and 10 on the 20 for the Chargers.
That should have been a completion. That was a poor pass, and also was a poorly run pattern by Mr. Curtis Adams. He was kind of loafing a little bit on the right side, wasn't running full speed. He was wide open. This should have been completed.
Laufenberg has signaled the play in. Mark Malone taking over when Laufenberg was unable to move the Chargers. Miller splits wide to the left side now for San Diego, and Quinn Early is to the right. Both rookies, and they can move it. Bernstein in motion. Bernstein running a deep pattern. They go underneath them. Lionel James, and James picks up big yardage up near the 40. Mike Harden, 31, the free safety, and strong safety Randy Robbins, number 48. Bring down Lionel the Little Train, James.
I tell you, watch him. Here he comes out of the backfield. We got him ISO'd. He hooks up here. Watch Jim Ryan come up, and he turns to the inside. This is what James does so well. He defeats that first tackler. Picks up 20 yards, gets a little bit shy of the 40.
So San Diego coming right back now with the offense led by Mark Malone. 2 minutes, 13 seconds to go in the first half. Malone going deep down the side and looking for Jamie Holland. Covered by Jeremiah Castile.
Well, Castile's picked up his coverage. You know, sometimes when you play in a defense and you're on the opposite side of one of the great defensive backs like Mark Haynes, you become better just by competitiveness. You know, everybody writes so much about Mark Haynes, and look at this beautiful coverage here by Jeremiah Castile down the left side. He's got Jamie Holland covered like a glove.
A little more contact allowed this year, and the simplest way to explain the allowing of more contact would be to say they can do a little bumping and running as long as they're looking back.
They just quit calling pass interference. Is that what you mean?
Tight end Cox sets right. Malone looks for James, incomplete. Flag down. Michael Harden is injured. He is getting up very slowly in the secondary.
I tell you, Mike Harden leveled Steve Largent last week. There's the bump and run. Look at this. That's past 5 yards down the line of scrimmage. That was Jamie Holland and Jeremiah Castile.
And defensive holding is called against the Denver Broncos.
Number 28, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down, 2-minute warning.
And you saw it. That was
And so Castile is hit with a penalty, and we'll be right back.
Dodge salutes those who strive for victory with this edition of The Winners.
I realized when I was at a very young age, if I was to stand and do battle, that I could get hurt.
Fortunately for Karlis, he did most of the hurting. For 13 years, Karlis led the Lions defense. His ability to move with agility and his propensity for finding the ball combined to make him nearly unstoppable. Alex Karlis solidified a reputation as a winner.
Dodge Dakota 4x4. When you consider that it comes loaded with the best truck warranty on or off the road, more available payload than any competitive compact 4x4 in the country, and a fuel-injected V6 engine S10 and Ranger charge extra for, it's easy to see. Only one size 4x4 has it all. It's gotta be the mid-size Dodge Dakota.
Now save up to $22.50 with cash back and package discounts on selected Dodge pickups in stock.
Isn't this romantic?
Wednesday, the crime-solving show that started it all. Meet a banker who stole millions and a crime-stopping housewife.
You may be able to help solve a mystery.
Unsolved Mysteries, Wednesday.
Look at the career catchers, Merle. Now the Cox down, that's Arthur Cox. He's a 6-year veteran. The rest are rookies. Actually rookies.
Very, very young football team. Mark Malone on first down with 2 minutes to play. Right over the middle. And wide open to his tight end, Arthur Cox. Cox trying to hold on to the football and keep charging for more yards. Gets down to the 35, and a flag is thrown across the way.
20-yard pickup. And I'll tell you one thing about those defensive backs. They didn't want any part of trying to stop this load. He's 277 pounds. Watch a little delay. He's usually used as a blocker, so this is going to be open. Look at him. Now watch him take dead aim at these defensive backs. He just runs over 3 or 4 of them. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want any part of him either.
We had a delay of the game call against Denver, which was declined as the play was already run. At least that was the initial signal. How could they do that?
They're going to take the play. If we take a look at Al Saunders over on the sideline.
Yeah, but wouldn't the delay be called? No, okay, the signal is, okay, we just had it clarified from the sideline. They had too many players. The arms folded by Dick Jorgensen, but that, you know, one signal has to cover 2 or 3 different infractions, and so we have it from the sideline. They have 12 players on the field. So San Diego takes the play at the 35. Malone to the near side to Lionel James, and he is brought down before he can get out of bounds. He was trying to get out to stop the clock. Castile made the hit on the 28-yard line, and we have 1 minute and 33 seconds left to go in the first half. And the clock is running.
Hurry up offense. It's a 2-minute drill. Everything's automatic. Laufenberg.
And the pressure is on. James makes the catch. He does get out of bounds at around the 10-yard line. And that stops the clock with 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go in the first half.
I'll tell you, he's exciting. Lionel James. Hey, we take a look at Lionel. He delays out of the backfield here, and I tell you, he's wide open.
He gets 18 yards on the pickup. 1:14 to go. Right. Denver leading it by a score of 24-3. 10 points in the first quarter. 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. And the first by Tony Dorsett as a Denver Bronco.
I don't tell you how imperative it is for San Diego to put 7 points on the board here if they're going to have any hopes of coming back in the second half. And Mark Malone wants a timeout here, or he may not be able to hear.
He is going to the sideline. We'll be back right after this. The Chargers are at the closed end of Mile High Stadium. I thought Malone was going to ask the official for time because he couldn't hear, but he did go ahead and call a timeout and went to the sideline.
Rulon Jones now checks in, Merle. He's one of the great pass rushers that they've had in this. Remember the Orange Crush defense years ago? Well, he's in right now, 9-year pro from Utah State. There he is, lined up over the left tackle.
Malone 6 out of 10, 91 yards since coming into the second quarter. The fans cut loose again. Malone with lots of time. Out of bounds. 1:05 left to play. Chased out by Simon Fletcher. So Malone still has some time. San Diego down by 24-3. Well, I agree with you on this one.
Third down now.
It's such a critical.
It really is. Everybody was
for San Diego, yeah.
And unlucky for San Diego, they had everybody on the left side in patterns. Nobody was on the right side, so when Malone tried to scramble around to the right side, he had nobody to throw the football to.
Miller is split way out to the left.
Pretty good second quarter for Mark Malone. You better get rid of it.
Finally does, and his receiver falls down to the end zone.
And it was 6 points, too.
Darren Flutie lost his footing in the end zone as he was trying to get away from Randy Robbins, the strong safety, number 48.
Well, Mark Malone must be used to this. I could just understand. He'd probably say, well, this has happened to me a lot of times. Here's a guy wide open in the end zone. He floats it out there. If this guy keeps his feet at 6 points, watch Darren Flutie. And look at Coach Saunders. Dejection.
Now we're down to 58 seconds to go. Third down and 10. They can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. The ball is just outside the 10-yard line.
Watch James.
There he is. Out of bounds at the 5. Mike Harden, the defensive captain, a tough Pro Bowler, makes the hit. Randy Robbins applying pressure.
Well, I think everybody in the ballpark knew that Mark Malone was going to go to his #1 receiver here, Lionel James, and he gets on the outside. And look how Mike Harden kept that inside position on the tackle.
Now Mark Malone wants another timeout. James caught 3 balls for 41 yards.
You know, the last week it showed 4th down over there before the last time, and it actually was only 3rd down, Merle.
Yeah, they made a mistake in the marker over there. Last week against Los Angeles, the Raiders, James caught 3 balls for 41 yards. Boy, this little guy can really create some excitement.
Well, from 85 to 87, over 4,475 yards.
5 receptions today for 51 yards for Lionel James.
That's all-purpose yards I'm talking about. Mr. James, kickoff return, punt return.
NFL Live at halftime with Lynn Bourbon and Paul McGuire. I'm sure that Paul will have some interesting things to...
He always does, doesn't he?
Yes, he will definitely have a statement to make. So Mark Malone with 4th down and goal.
Well, the key to this defensive ploy now for Denver will be wherever number 26 lines up. Somebody's going to have to watch him very carefully. He's lined up in the left halfback spot right here. And watch Eric Sievers, number 85.
Early split wide to the right, Miller to the left. Here we go.
Would they run a draw? Would they have the guts enough to run a draw? Yes. Yes, they would.
Mecklenburg stops the play. Ryan and Smith help out. Denver takes over.
You know, I would have liked that play if they would have cross-blocked up front, Merle. That was almost like a sweep, a delayed draw sweep. Now, you watch, there's nobody hit up the middle here. You can't see it, but there's your left guard pulling, and he doesn't block anybody, and Jim Ryan makes the stop.
So Mecklenburg, Robbins, and Ryan, and you'll see them all on this tackle.
If that would have been right up the middle, I think they may have scored. A little draw play right up the middle, right over the center. Instead, they took it too wide.
The Broncos stopped the Chargers, and you just have to admire the way these Chargers keep coming back. They're down 24-3, but every possession, they just seem to try a little harder and hang in there.
I think that's a reflection of their young coach. There's no quit in this football team.
Joe Collier's defense, and you just saw the man along there. He is, Joe Collier, who's been the defensive coordinator here for a number of years, one-time head coach of Buffalo, but he has done an outstanding job with his defensive unit. Clock running with 20 seconds to go, and the Broncos are going to let it run out. So we have reached the midway point of the ball game. The Broncos with 10 in the first quarter and 14 in the second period will take a 24-3 lead into the dressing room at halftime. And Paul Horning, we saw a different look Denver offense on the last series on the Dorsett drive.
Well, Dorsett looked great. That are out now in that offense. Dave Studdard and Stephon Humphreys.
And the kickoff is going to go to Ken Bell. He's out to near the 20-yard line. It'll be first down for Denver at its own 20.
There's your first half stats, Merle. Chargers 8 first downs, the Broncos 12. 99 yards rushing for Broncos, and you can see the Chargers, they gained 173 yards. You look up at that board, and they only put 3 points on the board.
Well, the big story there, too, was that Denver defense was stopping them deep in Denver territory. So they were getting near the goal line, but they just couldn't put it over. Dorsett and Winder will be the running backs as we open